Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we begin our series of Ask Huda with some of the pending questions that came through your emails. Brother Muhammad asks, how do I convince my Imam not to recite the Quran in a super fast manner during Taraweeh? Is it necessary to finish the whole Quran during Taraweeh? Is it permissible to pray Taraweeh behind an Imam who prays Taraweeh like this? We talked about this issue yesterday briefly, but again, the essence of reciting the Quran is to ponder upon it and to implement it in our lives. What some of the Imams do is unacceptable. The way they recite the Quran in a super fast fashion, breaking all speed limits, and the people behind them do not understand. So what are you seeking, quality or quantity? If it's quality, the way you're doing it is not helping you to reach there. But if it is the quantity, yes, you may finish the whole Quran. And this is another misconception. Is it mandatory or recommended to finish the Quran in Taraweeh? And the answer is no. What is more preferred, to finish the Quran or to ponder on few verses or parts of it? Of course, the second is the best. And therefore, one should focus on trying his level best to pray behind someone who would take him to the level of submissiveness and khushu'. So if I have two mosques, one who finishes the Quran in Ramadan and the other one who finishes 1/3 of the Quran or 1/4 of the Quran, but his recitation is beautiful, it makes me weep, it makes my heart tremble with fear of Allah and hoping with what Allah has for us. If this is the case, no, you should go to the second masjid. How to convince your Imam? I have no idea. You could advise him. Unfortunately, we have a lot of the people who do not listen. They don't take advice. They don't accept advice. If you advise them in a very polite and diplomatic way, they're still arrogant and would not accept it. You try and give it a shot, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy. The first caller is Safwan from Kuwait.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ramadan Mubarak.
And to you as well.
I have two questions.
Okay.
One is, my son, he's 12 years old, and he's Down syndrome.
He's what?
Down syndrome, especially.
Okay.
When he was born, we decided to give him name Musab. We loved this name very much because of the character and the attachment with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with Musab bin Umair.
Yes.
So we loved this name, and then we gave this name to him. Alhamdulillah, he's walking, running, and talking, everything. But a few days ago, I traveled to America, and my relatives, they are older than obviously with us. So they suggested, why don't you change his name? Because the name is, meaning of this name is difficult. So I know the diagnosis is not going to change, and he will be Down syndrome as till he alive. But what do you think? That should we change this name, or what shall we do?
I understand the question. Second question?
Okay, and the second question is that my daughter is married to a revert. Alhamdulillah, he's a very practicing Muslim.
MashaAllah.
His mother is not yet Muslim. And he loved his mother a lot, and so he goes and spends time with his mother at her home. But she has a dog, and he's unleashed all the time. So, and they go and they eat with, obviously my daughter, she has to go as well. So what do you think if they spend night and they have to go and eat? And I'm a little bit,
I will answer your question, inshallah.
So this is my concern, or maybe, I don't know what is the ruling for that,
I will
heard
answer you.
that the angels are not going to,
Okay, I'll answer your question, inshallah. Khadija from Jeddah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
I have a small problem, Sheikh.
Yes.
I have a very frequent problem of my nose block. Is it allowed for me to use wick on my nostrils while I am fasting? Because otherwise, wicks, the vapor rub that we get in order to open the blockage of the nostrils, the nose.
Okay.
Is it permissible for me to use? Because I am a patient of migraine and I have very bad headache and my nostrils get closed.
So what is the form of medication you're using? It's drops in?
It's a rub, yeah. And I use it over my nose.
Over your nose?
Yeah, over my nose,
No.
not into my nose.
Okay.
Over my nose, over the nostrils.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Ashri from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
I have two questions.
Yes.
One is that I was on travel last year and I missed some fast.
Okay.
So I did not do the fasting and the next Ramzan came. Someone told me that I had to do it before this Ramzan.
Yes.
So what should I do now?
Okay. Second question.
The second question is that my wife is from Vietnam and newly Muslim, and I have some problem in getting visa for her to come in Saudi. And I have 3 kids also. Now the only way that I can get visa is that I pay some people something and they will get me the visa. Should I do it? Because they are having troubles there, eating and all those kind of troubles, and my kids are going also in that environment, and I want to bring them here.
You
But
are
on the other
bribing.
hand,
Who are
paying
you?
also,
Who are you
not
bribing?
good. So
Who are you
should I
bribing?
pay or should I not?
Who are you bribing? The Vietnamese?
No, the people here who give the visa.
Ah, okay.
The people here, you know, the people who...
Yeah. I know. I will answer your question, inshallah. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Mishu from Egypt, or Michi? Michi from Egypt? Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, I called yesterday. My line was disconnected. Sheikh, I would like to ask you.
Yes.
I would like to ask you about my traveling, the crossing and traveling. Not about my breaking my fast, but starting my fast again. For I'll be going to India and I'll be landing at 12 o'clock in Qatar, and after that, up to 2 hours of flight. So I will start my fast from that night from Qatar. This is my first question. My second question is, can I make dua while I'm in sujood? I can ask Allah for anything, or I should just say Subhana Rabbil Azim 3 times, or I can ask more than that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your help. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Assalamu
Wa
alaikum.
alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Asim from Saudi. Yes, brother. Asim.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, my question is regarding Taraweeh. Basically, I am in debate with one of my friends who is not Ahl Sunnah. And according to him, is that Taraweeh is a bid'ah, and practicing a bid'ah is really a big sin as per Quran and Ahadith, that innovating anything in the religion. So, since vast majority of our Muslims from Malaysia to Morocco practice this sunnah, or what should I say, this ibadah, what is our justification that we are doing it right, and this bid'ah is not an innovation, but rather it is a ijtihad to gather ummah on one platform?
Your
This is my
friend,
question,
your friend. What is he from? Where is he? What is he? What kind of school is he following?
He is following Shia sect.
Shia. Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah. I will answer it. Don't worry.
Jazakallah, Sheikh.
Wajazak.
Jazakallah,
Hayyak
Sheikh.
Allah. Abu Bakr from Dubai.
Yes.
Yes, bro. Yes, what can I do for you, akhi?
Hello?
Yes, Abu Bakr.
Is that Shakati?
Yes, akhi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Please, I have a question, or I have some clarification to make with a friend of mine.
Okay, listen to me through the phone, please, and mute your television.
Okay. Let me mute the TV. He's telling me that if a woman is having her menstruation, she can do her fasting and she can pray.
Okay.
Is that allowed in Islam?
Okay. What kind of a friend do you have? What is he following? Which religion?
He's a Muslim, and he's a Muslim. We are living in the same area. He is telling me that if my wife is having her menstruation period, she can pray, she can fast,
Okay.
and at the same time she can pray her 5 daily prayers.
I will answer your question, inshallah.
And again, he is telling me that the time on praying Maghrib, I can pray Maghrib silently. It should not be loud.
Okay. Abdullah from Saudi.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I just want to ask one question.
Yes.
What is the ruling of Sharia to a person who is denying or ignoring the ayah of the Quran for the worldly affair?
Of what?
Worldly affair. For the worldly affair.
Okay. He denies it how? Yani he says it's not from the Quran?
Yeah, she knows the Quran. She knows the ruling of Quran.
Okay, but sinful. So she knows that riba is haram, yet they deal with riba and they acknowledge it's haram. I will answer your question, inshallah.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we will try to answer the questions we have and some of the questions pending, and then we will take your calls back again, inshallah, if there is time left in our lives. Safwan from Kuwait says, her son is suffering from Down syndrome, and they named him 12 years ago Mus'ab. And some people told them that Mus'ab means difficult. And this is not quite true for a number of reasons. Mus'ab can also mean difficult to be aggressive to, difficult to win over. So it is a good name. And we know that the trend of the Prophet ﷺ was to change bad names into good names. So for example, Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, may Allah have mercy on his soul, one of the great tabi'een, his grandfather's name was Hazan. And Hazan in Arabic means difficulty. So when he came to the Prophet and he introduced himself, the Prophet told him, you are Sahal, you are easy. Meaning that change your name into this. And the man said, I would not change a name that my father gave to me. And Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, the grandson, a child of that Sahabi, says that, and since then, it was known in our family that we are so difficult and hard to deal with because of the name. So the Prophet would have changed the name of Mus'ab ibn Umair if it had any bad implication, of if it wasn't a good name. He changed a lot of the companions' names into good names, but he kept Mus'ab, which means that it's a good name, so don't pay attention to what these folks tell you, and pray. Don't say that I know his case would not change. This is extremely wrong of you. When you say I know, meaning that Allah would not change it. How do you know? Isn't Allah Azza wa Jal capable of changing it, improving it? So you have to feel your poverty and humility to Allah Azza wa Jal and supplicate to Him, and Allah would change it if He wills to do so. So be sincere, be consistent, keep on doing what you have to do, and never think negative of Allah. Always think positive of Allah. May Allah Azza wa Jal cure all our ill people. She's asking about her daughter. Her son-in-law is a new revert and is good practicing, and his mother is not a Muslim, and when they visit and maybe stay overnight, they have a dog, and she's afraid and worried. Well, first of all, the house is not yours or your daughter's, so it is okay for them to go into that house. They have to stay away from getting in contact with the dog, so the dog does not come and lick your hand or leg or touches you. Keep him away. Other than that, it's a 1 day or 2 day visit. The son has to be good to his mother. The mother is a kafir, so there is nothing worse than kufr. So say, oh, this kafir man is wearing gold rings. Ya akhi, he's a kafir. This is the rock bottom. Whatever he does is justifiable because he can't do anything worse and more wrong than disbelieving in Allah Azza wa Jal. Khadija, she is saying that she has a problem with her breathing, and she puts some and rubs some lotion or cream or whatever to open the congestion and the blockage. This is okay. It's not a form of drinking or eating. Nothing goes into your stomach, and therefore there is no problem in that. Ashri says that there are days he missed from the previous Ramadan and he did not make up for these days. What to do? You can't go back in time. So the only thing for you to do is continue fasting Ramadan. After you finish Ramadan, repent to Allah Azza wa Jal. Ask Him for forgiveness because you have done a sin by delaying it without any illegitimate reason, and make up for these days, inshallah. He's asking about bribing. He's saying that he lives in Saudi Arabia and he's having difficulty in getting his wife and 3 children here, and someone suggested that you give him a bribe and they will facilitate her visa. So he's asking, is this permissible? The answer is no. These people do not fear Allah Azza wa Jal. They deliberately delay and postpone and put hurdles and obstacles in front of people's affairs so that they can embezzle them of money. The Prophet said, alayhi salam, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ الرَّاشِيَ وَالْمُرْتَشِي. May Allah Azza wa Jal curse those who give in rashwa, in bribe, and those who receive. So you are both in the same sin. You say that I am in need. Well, this is not something that can be justified, because if everyone says I'm in need, we keep on giving bribes for getting what is legally ours and what is legitimately ours. This would reach to a catastrophe and would lead the country to corruption, unfortunately. And this is what we are trying to fight. We have to fight it because it's a religious duty. We have to fight it because it's a communal duty. If we keep on turning a blind eye to whatever wrong is happening, we are in the same boat and we will sink together. So we have to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. If you can complain, if someone is putting obstacles and he says, I will not do this until you pay me money, and it's legitimately yours by law, by constitution, if we can use that word, it's legitimately yours throughout the whole country, yet he's still blocking it. In this case, you may give him this bribe to get what is legally yours, but you have to complain, you have to file a complaint against him with the authorities so that they can catch him red-handed, and I hope this works. Michi says that she is traveling to Qatar and then to India. You can break your skip the fast the whole journey. You have no problem in that. So the minute you take off from Cairo, you can break your fast. You reach Qatar, you're not obliged to fast. You reach India. If India is your residency and you're only temporary in Cairo, meaning that you have not migrated from India, you're just working overseas, and someday, 10 years, 15 years, you're going to go back to your hometown. If India is your hometown, or the place you're going to is your hometown, the minute you set foot, you have to start fasting, and you cannot break your fast because you're not traveling anymore. She's asking, can we make dua during sujood? Definitely, yes. The Prophet told us, ﷺ, the closest a servant of Allah is to Allah when he is prostrating. So choose a lot of dua because Allah would answer it. This is an instruction from the Prophet ﷺ. So as you say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la 3 times, if you would like to add more, okay. If you want to open the door for dua, you have that right as in accordance to the Prophet ﷺ. Asim from Saudi Arabia says, and it's awkward to hear your name on the phone. Asim says he has a friend. Now, I asked him what your friend is, and he said he's a Shia. So, Asim, I'm giving you an advice. Do not be friend with Shias. They are different to us. They are different to our culture. They are different to our religion. They are different to all what we cherish and love. And they are different to all what we believe. So, first of all, I advise you to cut all ties with him unless you're giving him da'wah. Second of all, it is ridiculous for a Shia to come and say Taraweeh is bid'ah. I almost broke in laughter when I heard the question. Shia is saying that Taraweeh is bid'ah? Excuse me. Look into your own books, my friend. Look at what you're doing at graves and graveyards. Look at what you're doing in Qum, in Najaf, when you go and prostrate and worship the deceased 12 imams of yours. When you say, Ya Hussein, Ya Ali, Al-Madad, Al-Madad. When you ask them, when you call your children Abdul Hussein, Abdul Ali, Abdul Hassan. What is this? What bid'ah are you talking about? I'm just looking at the tip of an iceberg. If you want to go down, it's going to be horrendous. Shia's religion and belief is all fabricated. It's all innovated. They come right out of a comic book, because this is not related to the Quran and the Sunnah. Their original books, Al-Kafi, which is like Sahih al-Bukhari to us Muslims, it is stated in that the Quran is altered, and there are so many verses that have been changed. And this does not relate to Mus'haf Fatima, which is 70 times more than this. What blasphemy more do you want? So when your so-called friend talks about Taraweeh being bid'ah, tell him, with all due respect, you have no idea what bid'ah is. First of all. Second of all, Taraweeh was done by the Prophet. And I hear this so many times. People say that, oh, bid'ah, 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 the Prophet did not pray it. Wrong. The Prophet did pray it for 3 nights, alayhi salam. And he led the companions for 3 nights in Ramadan. But then, on the 4th night, he did not come out. And when they told him, come and pray, he said, no, I will not pray because I saw what you had done. And I'm afraid, because I'm the messenger of Allah, that Allah would reveal something to me, making it obligatory upon you. Meaning that the prayer is good, the congregation is good, Ramadan is a blessed month. But I'm afraid that Allah would mandate it upon you. So I skipped it. After the Prophet died, ﷺ, the reason that he was afraid of is gone, because there is no revelation. So it went back to normal, and Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, is the one who made it back to normal. And not only that, the Prophet ordered us ﷺ to follow his sunnah and the sunnah of the 4 rightly guided khulafa. And Umar is one of them. So where is the bid'ah? Muhammad from Saudi? Okay, lost. Fiz al-Rahman? Hafiz? Yes, Hafiz al-Rahman from Pakistan. What can I do for you? Hafiz?
Yes.
Hafiz Bhai? Yes. What can I do for you?
Yes, I have a question, brother.
Yes, Akhi.
Okay, the question is that, I live in one city and I work in another city. So the distance is about, let's say, more than 100 kilometers. So I wonder that when I go to the work every day, so now as per Sharia, so whether this is suffer or not. And it's obligatory to keep the fast or not. And the same question goes for the prayers as well. And this is obligatory or not. And I have a question, brother.
Yeah.
So,
yes, sir.
Question is that, my son, his name is Muhib ar-Rahman. But the people call him Muhib ar-Rahman. They cannot pronounce very well. So which I think is change the meaning. So can you please answer that whether we should change his name?
Okay.
Because it's the real name is Muhib ar-Rahman.
What does it mean?
Call him Muhib ar-Rahman.
What does it mean, Muhib ar-Rahman?
Sorry?
Muhib ar-Rahman, what does it mean?
Muhib ar-Rahman, I think it means Muhib, they call, we heard this means a violent. It's a violent.
No. The original name. What does the original name mean?
The original name, I think that's companion. What I.
Okay, I will answer you. I will answer you, inshallah. I will answer your question. Muhammad, and Muhammad is gone again. Okay. Abu Bakr is asking that he has a friend, and again, you should select your friends, my friend. Now, Asim says that his Shia friend made him confused. And brother Abu Bakr says that his friend says that a woman in her menses must pray and fast. And this goes against the consensus of all scholars of Islam, Sunni Muslims. It goes against, it is not permissible for a woman in her menses to pray or to fast. So I don't know where your friend comes from. And how can you be friend with ignorant people? And not only that, how can you have weak iman and weak knowledge so that any doubt that comes makes you doubtful? You should be strongly founded in your religion, based on ilm, based on the Quran, based on the Sunnah. So when someone comes and casts a doubt at me, I shrug it off. Easy, I can answer that. Not meaning that I have to be a scholar, but at least I have to be confident of my religion, not allowing such things to disturb me. Abu Bakr, your friend, is delusional. He doesn't know Islam. Maybe he's talking about another religion. A woman in her menses must not pray or fast. And also he's saying to him that you should recite Al-Maghrib silently. And again, it's going to take me a lifetime to just refute the wrong misconceptions that ignorant people who do not know about their religion. Maghrib, the sunnah is to recite it aloud, and this is how the Prophet used to do it. If you recite it silently, your prayer is valid, but no one dares and say you must recite it silently. Abdullah says that how to deal with someone who goes against the ayah of the Quran. And there is a big difference between someone who rejects an ayah of the Quran. When someone says, yeah, the ayah on intoxicants, I don't believe in that. This is not from the Quran. This is a kafir. Likewise, when some of the deviant sects, they say that, for example, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. This is a verse. If they say, وَاجْعَلْ لَنَا مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا, and they have altered the Quran, and they say this is the way to recite it, because وَاجْعَلْ لَنَا, meaning that make to us, from the 12 imams of the Rafidah, make them imam to us, for the pious and for the righteous. This is complete kufr. Anyone who says that this ayah has been altered or changed is a kafir. Whether he prays 5 times, whether he prays 50 times, if he makes hajj 6 times a year, he's still a kafir. He's not a Muslim. So, if someone rejects an ayah of the Quran, he's a kafir. But if someone says, listen, the ayah of intoxicants, I believe in it, is from the Quran, but I drink. And I drink because I'm sinful. But I believe it's haram, it's forbidden, and I'm going to hell. Yet, this guy is a Muslim. He's a bad and sinful Muslim, but this does not nullify his Islam. Hafid Ar-Rahman, I think his name is asking about traveling 100 kilometers, commuting between his home and his workplace. If the people in your hometown consider this to be traveling, you are permitted to break your fast and shorten your prayer. But if they consider it to be a suburb, then it is not permissible for you to do so. For example, Mecca and Medina, the distance somehow ranges from 85 to 100 kilometers depending where you're living. But the people of Mecca consider Jeddah to be its suburb. And a lot of the Muslims live in Mecca, work in Jeddah, and the opposite. And that is why the people of Jeddah, when they go to Mecca, they do not shorten the prayer and they do not break their fasting. As for the name, I believe that the original name of your son is Muhibbur Rahman, not Muhibur Rahman. Muhibbur Rahman means the one who loves Ar-Rahman, who loves Allah Azza wa Jal. So the spelling is different than Muhib, because Muhib has no meaning. There's another word which is Mujib Ar-Rahman, which means that one who answers Allah Azza wa Jal. So both names, Muhibbur Rahman, Mujibur Rahman, it's okay. But Muhibur Rahman, if someone says Muhibur Rahman, Muhib means the one who scares and frightens. And no one scares and frightens Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah Azza wa Jal be exalted. So I would recommend change the name into Muhammad or to Ahmad. That is better, inshallah. Tawfiq says, which dua would the Prophet ﷺ do in the month of Ramadan? There isn't any specific dua, except the one that he taught Aisha may Allah be pleased with her, when she asked about the night of decree, Laylatul Qadr, what to say. He taught her to say, Allahumma innaka afuun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma, oh Allah, you are afu, most forgiving, and you love forgiveness, so forgive me. And this is to my knowledge. Azim or Azam or Azim, I don't know how it is pronounced. He says, when are the appropriate times to raise hands for dua? Please be very specific so I can incorporate this into my lifestyle. This is an issue of dispute, and I wrote about this a couple of days ago on my Facebook and Twitter account, and people are making a big fuzz out of it. And I'll sum it up in a nutshell, because this is not a lesson of fiqh where I can elaborate a little bit more. However, what is the ruling on raising the hands when making dua? It's very good, it's sunnah. What is your evidence? The Prophet said, alayhi salatu, Allah is bashful, is generous, and loves to conceal the sins of His servants. When His servant raises his hands, asking Him, supplicating, Allah Azza wa Jal would not return them empty-handed, meaning that Allah would accept his dua. So this means it's a good thing. Not only that, in the Sahih, the Prophet is telling us about a traveler who has a number of features that usually make dua answerable, such as he is dusted because of traveling and his hair is not uncombed, which means that the Prophet told us the dua of a traveler is answered. And the man raises his hands, and the Prophet told us that when you raise your hands, Allah answers. And the man says, Ya Rab, Ya Rab, calling Allah with His beautiful names and attributes, and Allah Azza wa Jal answers as well. Yet the Prophet tells us that because he is consuming haram, wearing haram, eating and drinking from haram, Allah would not answer his supplication. So raising the hands is a recommended sunnah. Now don't turn the TV off and just take this portion. Let me continue. Therefore, whenever you want to make dua, raise your hands. Now the issue is when not to raise your hands. Because generally speaking, you can raise your hands anytime. So there are locations that it was not reported to us that the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands. So we refrain. For example, if the Imam on the Jum'ah, he's not calling for rain or anything. He's just saying, oh Allah, forgive the Muslims. Oh Allah, liberate Syria from the oppression. Oh Allah, unite the Muslims. And he raises his hands. This is an innovation and it is not permissible. Why? Because the Prophet did not do it. The companions, may Allah be pleased with them, when they saw some of the rulers after the four caliphs' time raising their hands, they say, may Allah Azza wa Jal put you in shame and put these hands in shame. The Prophet never ﷺ raised his hands on Friday. So it is not permissible, neither for the Imam nor for the followers in the congregation to say Ameen as they do every Friday. This is wrong. Also, it is wrong to do it, for example, in tawaf. When you're doing tawaf and you say Bismillah Allahu Akbar and then you say, oh Allah, oh Allah. No, the Prophet didn't do it in tawaf. However, in sa'i, when you conclude sa'i and you face the Qibla and you raise your hands, yes, you raise your hands. So this is okay. Also, after every obligatory prayer, and we see a lot of the brothers from the subcontinent do this. After every Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha, they immediately raise their hands and say a few words, and then they wash their faces, and some of them continue to do that with their bodies. This is an innovation. Why? The question is to you. Why isn't it not an innovation? Did the Prophet do it, ﷺ? The answer is no. Did the companions do it? The answer is no. So how dare you do something that they did not do? So it is a bid'ah here. But if I'm sitting home and all of a sudden I remember that my son is going, my daughter is doing an exam. So I raise my hands, oh Allah, make her pass. And then I remember my brother, he has a problem affecting his health. Oh Allah, forgive him and cure his illness. No problem. In the middle of the night, no problem. In between adhan and iqama, no problem. Whenever you want to make dua, raise your hands. But after every obligatory prayer, it is not a sunnah, it is an innovation. It's best for you to follow the Prophet ﷺ, who ordered you to make dua while you're in prostration, and he ordered you to make dua after the tashahhud and before the salam. just before you conclude the prayer, take 2-3 minutes and make dua as much as you want. Because this is recommended by the Prophet. Now, you have the choice. The Prophet ﷺ recommended these 2 spots. You insist in saying, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to make dua after every fard prayer, raising my hands, following my ancestors and my forefathers. It's up to you who you want to be with in Jannah. But it is not a big issue in the sense that we divide between Muslims, making them Muslims and non-Muslims for doing this. This is the sunnah, and people, we advise them. If they don't want to comply, it's your problem. Muhammad from Saudi. I don't speak Urdu.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Hello?
Muhammad, turn down the volume.
Ali,
turn down the volume from...
Jeddah.
Yes, what can I do for
I
you?
have a problem. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I have a problem. The problem is that when Quran is in Arabic, and I don't understand Arabic very well. So it makes me very difficult to learn the Quran. What is the solution to it? To memorize the Quran, it's very difficult. So what is the solution to it?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Michi from Egypt? Okay, we lost Michi. Muhammad saying that the Quran is in Arabic and it's very difficult for me to memorize the Quran because it's in Arabic. Well, the solution is that you try and make it as much as possible. We know that there are hundreds of thousands of youngsters in Indonesia not knowing a single word in Arabic, yet they are capable of memorizing the Quran fully, mashallah, without not a single mistake. Likewise in India, likewise in Bangladesh, likewise in Pakistan, mashallah, everywhere. And they are good in memorizing the Quran without knowing Arabic. So you can do it if you want to. And you are from Saudi, so you have, alhamdulillah, all the Arabs around you. You should not speak to your locality and to the others in your Urdu or in your English. And this is a problem. When people come to Saudi Arabia, they live in Al-Aziziyya. And you find people living in Saudi for 30 or 40 years not knowing Arabic. Why? Because they're living in the community. This is the language of the Quran. You have to learn Arabic. This would make you taste the beauty of the Quran and taste the beauty of the Sunnah and understand it. Ahmed from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Mubarak to you as well, Ahmed. What can I do for you?
Yes, my question is regarding pregnant women and breastfeeding women.
Okay.
We always have these conflicting advices from our ulamas. Others tell us that a pregnant woman can decide not to fast and feed, and or breastfeeding woman. But my wife was pregnant and she did not fast, and we fed the maskin.
Okay.
So, and later on, other ulamas are telling us that even after feeding maskin, you have to prepare the fast.
Okay.
So that is the question.
Okay, so it's double jeopardy. I will answer your question, inshallah. Michi? Yes, Michi from Egypt?
Yes.
Yes, what's your question?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, I have a very important question, Sheikh. I would like to ask you. I have invested some money with my relatives for a business. I don't know what business they are doing with that money. And every month I get money from them. So should I take this money or is it counted as interest? So I want to know if it's haram or halal to take this money. I've invested this money.
The interest they're giving you, or the monthly payment they're giving you, it's fixed always?
Yes, it's always fixed.
Okay, I will answer your question.
Okay, shukran. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam. Ahmed is asked, Dana from? Dana? Banu, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I want, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum. Mute your television and listen to me from the phone, please.
I'm having two questions.
Okay.
I just want to know whether zakat, the full amount, can pay to one person.
Okay. Umar from Dubai.
Now,
Yes, Umar, what can I do for you?
no, I have a question for Sheikh Hassan.
I am Asim, Ya Akhi Kareem. What can I do for you?
Yes, yeah, Sheikh, the first day of Ramadan,
Yes.
I was driving my vehicle, then I had a serious chest pain. And it happens I'm a hypertensive patient.
Okay.
So I rushed to the emergency wing of the hospital, and they performed ECG.
Okay.
And it was found that my ECG was irregular. And then they gave me 300 mg aspirin, which I consumed. And it was about 2 a.m. 2 p.m.
You consumed it orally?
No, I know I consumed the medicine around 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Orally or through IV?
Orally.
Okay.
With water, tablet and water, orally.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so what happens to my parts? Is it null and void or?
Okay, I would answer you, inshallah. Ashfaq from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sheikh?
I am fine, Jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah. Sheikh, I had 3 questions.
Okay.
But Alhamdulillah, you have answered one of these questions, that is regarding Tarawih.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions. My first question is that for whenever we do an obligatory, nafil ibadat like nafil fasting and nafil ibadat prayers, can we say that this fast, we can just give this reward to our deceased father and whoever has passed away? Same thing with the salah. Can we do this way?
Okay. And then
My second question is it sunnah to eat sweets after the meals? Any meal?
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Awizak. Okay, Ahmed from Nigeria is saying that he's in confusion regarding his wife who's pregnant and did not fast and instead fed a poor person, and now he hears the other opinion saying that this is not possible. They have to also make up for the day. It's an issue of dispute. In a nutshell, a pregnant woman or a nursing woman, a woman who is breastfeeding, they can skip fasting and they must make up for these days whenever they are able to do so, and there is no financial expiation of feeding. This is the most authentic opinion of scholars. Michi says that she has invested money with relatives and she doesn't know what kind of investment they're doing, and they're giving her a monthly fixed amount of money, let's say $1,000 a month. This is riba. This is totally prohibited. And you must know where they're investing the money, whether they're putting it in liquor or nightclubs or dealing in selling arms or whatever. So giving a fixed amount, this is automatically riba, interest, haram. It's not permissible for you to take. If they are investing in something halal and the percentage is known, 30% for you, 70% for them, and this of course fluctuates. It can be $1,000 this month, $200 next month. It might be a loss after 3 months, so you have to contribute as well. So this becomes halal, inshallah. Banu is asking about giving the zakat to one person, because verse 60, chapter 9, Allah indicated 8 categories of the zakat. And some of the scholars say that when you have zakat, you have to distribute on the 8, and this is wrong. You can give the whole zakat to one person, and this is far better than distributing it on the 8 categories without any of them benefiting. So if I have €1,000 or 800 euros, and I give 100 euros to each, the poor is saying that 100 euros is not enough to buy the food for a couple of weeks. The needy would say, I cannot use the 100 euros to pay for my medical bills or for my electricity bill, etc. So you'd rather benefit one of them fully and totally rather than making them all in need again. Umar from Dubai says that he had a problem. He went to the ER. They gave him aspirin and water. Does this affect his fasting? Definitely yes. Is he sinful? Definitely no. So that day is not accounted for. After Ramadan, make up for that day, and there's no sin on you, alhamdulillah. Ashfaq says, can I pray or fast, voluntary fast, and give this to my father, to my grandfather, to my deceased loved ones? And the answer is no. You can only make dua, you can ask Allah for forgiveness, you can give charity, you can make umrah or hajj on their behalf, and that is it. Reciting the Quran, making voluntary prayers or fasting, all of this is not permissible. His second question is it from Sunnah to have sweets after, there's 11 minutes left. Can we eat sweets after a meal? Is it from the Sunnah? I don't know it to be from the Sunnah, and if anyone can help us, then this would be great. Dima asks, where is Allah? Is He everywhere? No, He is not. This is a statement that could reach a person to void his Islam. Allah Azza wa Jal is on His throne, is over His throne, on the seventh heaven, and subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of any of His creation, and Allah Azza wa Jal cannot be incubated or surrounded by any of His creation, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah was there and there was nothing created, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does not need anything. To say that Allah is everywhere like a lot of the ignorance do, those ignorance, we have to speak to them and clarify it to them, because they don't know. But if someone knows the verses of the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet, the overwhelming evidences that states that Allah Azza wa Jal is over His throne. And the Prophet said to the Jariyah, to the young slave girl, where is Allah? She says, in the heavens. And who am I? She says, you are the Prophet of Allah. He told her master, set her free, she's a believing woman. When Allah Azza wa Jal tells us that to Allah Azza wa Jal goes up the good words, and from Him comes down the decrees. When we say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, all of these tell you, and when the angels descend from the heavens and they go up to the heavens, and Allah Azza wa Jal is on top of all of that. All of this is overwhelming evidences, and so many more that Allah Azza wa Jal is not everywhere. And those who say everywhere, Allah is everywhere, yeah, think for a while. When I go, may Allah Azza wa Jal's name be exalted, when I go to the toilet, when I go to the bathrooms, when I'm in the sewer, Allah is there? How? Are you crazy? Allah Azza wa Jal is greater than all what you can comprehend or understand. So you have to believe that this statement is blasphemy, to say that Allah Azza wa Jal is everywhere. And finally, Humayra says that her husband wants to do i'tikaf. In short, and she's alone with her child in the house. And it is scary for her to go and take food to him and come back at 3 a.m. when Fajr is. The answer is, you do not leave the house. He does his i'tikaf for 10 days, the seclusion in the masjid at the last 10 nights of Ramadan. He does i'tikaf, this is good, this is sunnah. And he's allowed to come out to answer the call of nature, to have a meal, to take a shower and go back. But he does not socialize and sit and talk and chit-chat. He does what he needs to do and go back to the masjid without any form of intimacy. And with this, we come to the conclusion of our episode of Ask Huda. Until I meet you on Friday next week, inshallah, I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance and